Two.
Okay, hello, North Carolina Wesleyan Battling Bishops. My name is Michael Parker. I am a current senior and I'm slated to graduate next year during the fall of 2021 with my degree in business administration with a concentration in entrepreneurship. I'll be covering chapters 1 through 11 today, and this is a part of our BUS 215 International Business course. This is a part of our Global Edge Research Task Assignment. So I'll be covering right now chapters 1 through 3 from some of the topics that I learned, which are foreign direct investment, risk management analysis, and it will also be examining certain countries that have minimal terrorism threats. Foreign direct investment, as some of you may know, that deals with certain companies who decide that they want to go to other countries, whether it's someone in Canada who may want to go to Germany, someone in Germany who may want to go to India, someone in Indonesia who may want to go to Singapore. Regardless of the country or the company, they have one goal in common, and that is to expand on their resources and to make new contacts. So in order to do that, you need to make sure that there's another location or geographic region in which someone or another group of individuals can match your resources, or at least come up to the same equilibrium, whether it's this close or this close. Foreign direct investment deals with being able to invest properly in other countries who have the same equitable resources such as yourself. Most companies that go to these countries, whether you're an investor here in America going to New Zealand, you want to make sure that that country, in that particular country within that nation, you want to make sure that they are known for having low debts. You want to make sure that their banking systems are up to par. As we know, not all banking systems are safe, not even in the United States. But you want to make sure that your company can safely invest their resources into a foreign company that will be beneficial, not just for you, but for others. So that's what I want to talk to you about. Do your research before going to another country and investing. Make sure that they have the proper resources that you need, because trust me, they are looking at you to make sure that you can do the same for them. Another is risk management analysis. Whenever you're going to go to another country, or even when you're within your own country, you must always remember the risk involved as far as being a business owner. You have to look at employee payroll, employee turnover, possible terrorism threats. You have to look at possible breaches as far as having certain employees or even outside forces possibly hacking into your computer systems. When you travel to other countries, or if you choose to invest in other countries, you must always look at their political climate. If things seem as though that they're in a political war right now, it may not be the best time for you to try to invest in that company that may be within that country. Depending upon who you may know diplomatically, that could show you around and help to navigate those tough situations. So risk management analysis just deals with you analyzing the risk that your company or you yourself may have to take when it comes to gathering other resources. Now I'll talk about countries with minimal terrorism threats. Certain countries like the United States, Japan, or Ireland, or Finland have actual low terrorism threats. Now that doesn't mean that these countries do not have issues, and it doesn't mean that they cannot experience threats. Look at the United States, September 11, 2001. New Zealand, earlier this year, they had a terrorism attack. So some of these countries are not, it's not that they don't experience them, it's just that they have extremely low risk at that. And that's and that's no different than foreign direct investment. And it's no different than you also learning about any other thing in business as far as you trying to invest in a company and dealing with risk management analysis. You need to make sure that wherever you're going, the risk for investment and for communication is extremely low. But you can never you can never negate the fact that there will always be something that will happen. Next, I'll talk about chapters 4 through 5. I'll talk about the Center for Cultural Learning. That deals with understanding and being able to grasp the concepts of being able to relate to other cultures. Prior to you going to another country, you must realize that some stereotypes that you might hear in this country might not be the same over there within that country. For instance, you can't assume that going to Africa or that going to France, or going to Hong Kong, that people there are not as intelligent as those in America, or that they don't have certain values or care for their family as we do. They have some of the same exact traditions we do, just in a very different way. You must also learn about the dress, the artwork, the language. In some cultures, for instance, America, it is okay to give a high five. It's okay to shake with your right hand. In some cultures, giving a high five or shaking with your right hand is forbidden. Some cultures, they kiss twice on each cheek, or once on the cheek, or they give a kiss on the cheek and they may pat you behind your back. So learning these different cultural experiences within these cultures can help you to better navigate as you go about traveling abroad, and as you go about wanting to learn from these different cultures. Now I'll go to chapters 6 through 11. We can talk about entering or breaking down the barrier into the pharmaceutical company, which is in New Zealand, the World Trade Organization, International Trade. And we can also talk about the Economic Big Mac Index. Okay, when it comes to the World Trade Organization or International Trade, that is just a conglomerate of several different countries who are interconnected through trade. As you know, in economics, when it comes to trade, countries tend to trade for items that they do not make as well as others. You could be in a country where they might make more wine than this country over here who makes t-shirts. So if this country needs t-shirts, if you need t-shirts and they need wine, you're going to make that transaction. That's the purpose of the World Organization of International Trade, is to interlock countries together so that they can trade one another's valuable resources with one another, because each country makes something different and at a much faster rate than at each other. Even the least talked about countries can make something a lot faster and a lot quicker than even the United States, and they are more plentiful in certain areas than we are. Also, when we talk about the Economic Big Mac Index, that talks about certain countries whose purchasing power or buying power is not all that high. Like South Sudan is a country in particular whose purchasing power or buying power is not that high. In other words, this particular country doesn't have a high gross domestic product, which is the calculation of all the goods and services and imports and exports sold within your country within that year. There are a lot of countries who do not have high purchasing power, and they will fall within this Economic Big Mac Index. As well as when we talk about the barrier to entry for the New Zealand pharmaceutical company, certain countries like America, let's say Canada, Japan, and other countries, they wanted to enter the pharmaceutical company that New Zealand has. However, there's a trade barrier issue. The New Zealand population seems to be more so the type of individuals where they've entered their own market, but they made it hard for outside businesses to penetrate their pharmaceutical companies. So this can be a serious issue when you want to invest in a company, such as we talked earlier about foreign direct investment, and how you must look at that and risk management, and how you must be aware of when you're trying to invest in a particular market. What are the barriers to entry? What are the risks? Is it feasible for you to even enter into this particular barrier or this particular type of market? So this is an issue with trying to get into the pharmaceutical company in New Zealand. They have at least anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 different medicines that they actually sell within their community within New Zealand. So, and they do very good within their community in New Zealand. So this is another type of investment that other outside companies from other countries are looking to make. The reason why all of these different topics are important is because they all deal with financial literacy. They all deal with risk management. They all deal with being able to adjust and adapt to someone else's culture outside of your own. Because sometimes we all can have our own ethnocentristic types of thoughts, and that comes from believing that our way of thinking or our culture in which we have come up in is superior to others. And when you travel abroad And what you learn about international business or international trade or speaking other languages is that no other culture is better than the other. So when it comes to this course, I believe that the best thing that you can get out of BUS 215 International Business Section 1 and from this assignment is that in order to be a real entrepreneur or businessman or businesswoman, you have to be flexible mentally. My name is Michael Parker. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.